How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How is everyone doing out there? Um, Today I went to a different set. I'm going to record this and going to place it out there. Didn't go live on this show. Hopefully, I can get this to record out there and people start to look at it. Wanted to come in on the last day before we get to football. I'm excited about this game. I have no apprehensions about this game. Usually when we go into a big game, the season start, I say, man, I feel apprehensions, worried about our team, how we're gonna play. I have no apprehensions about this team. I'm not saying I don't have apprehensions about this team because it's a long road, but this game, I really don't think that we're going to play bad. And if we do the things that I think we can do, I don't think this game is going to be close. Now, I might come back to bite. That may, my words may come back to bite me, haunt me. But I feel good about this team. Some of you may not feel good about them. I hear a lot of people talking about, get this player since we started trading. Now we want to. One thing you're going to find out in the championship team, if you want to have a championship team, that there's going to be some players that you don't think that's going to be really good, that just going to have to show up and play. You look at the Eagles last year. Nobody thought that the two corner, the slot corner would be as good as he was. Nobody thought the other corner would take Bradbury's spot as a rookie and do better than Bradbury. Nobody thought the linebacker Braun was going to come in, the linebacker, and play as well as he played based off what happened the year before. Nobody thought if they traded Hassan Reddick that they were going, and they brought in a guy from the free agency that didn't turn out, they was going to still play great defense. Nobody thought that they were going to get a guy from a guard from Kyle Beckman from where he was a bust, and he was going to come out well. I'm quite sure they had apprehensions about him. They had apprehensions about their center. They lost it. They lost an All-Pro center. They lost an All-Pro Cox the year before they won the Super Bowl. They lost an All-Pro in Cox. They lost an All-Pro in center in Kelsey. They lost they traded Hassan Reddick. Guys, they had even though Bradbury was bad, but he was a starter. They didn't even have a slot corner. They were coming with new defense. And somebody would told me that Philadelphia was going to have Devontae Smith was going to have 68 catches, not even 1,000 yards. And A.J. Brown was just going to get 1,075 yards for a season. Oh, yes, they brought Shane Barkley in, or Traquan Barkley in. But Swift, the year before, had 1,600 yards. Miles Sanders, when we talking bad about, had 1,500, almost 1,500 the year before that. Nobody told me Kansas City was going to be with some of the guys they had, the injuries they had, that they were going to come through. Again, when you have a champ, if you're talking about putting a championship team, you're not going to be, this is not, and I'm not talking bad about nobody, but this is not fantasy football where you can go out and pick up in the fantasy football and say, I'm trying to get this guy, this Pro Bowl, this guy. That doesn't work. We're going to talk about a couple of things today right quick that is all about how we play. The guys in the cover now, some of these guys got to play. And I always say it's the sum of the parts. I know it's good banter and talk about we can get that guy, get this guy, and that guy. I know that's good talk. But everybody who's played this game knows that you're not going to have the best guy in every position. And guys got to step up and play. And we don't have bad guys in positions. And I've been saying this for the longest. How you make a name is with opportunity. And I'm going to go back to what Schottenheimer said. And I'm going to go back to what Jerry them and Schottenheimer said early on. And I wish I could pull up that quote, but they talked about this offensive line. They said, hey, man, the offensive line is key to the running back success. A good offensive line and a dedicated run team like the Eagles took Barkley, who had subpar last couple of years in Giants, and got him 2,000 yards. The dedicated run team got Swift to 1,600 yards. A dedicated run team got Miles Sanders his best year up to 14, I think 1450, or maybe 1,500 yards 3 years ago. And I believe in this offensive line we have. We just got to put the work in, got to put on the field. And if this offensive line is what I think it is, and it can gel to what I think it is, we might be all right running back. But whatever it is, it got to be dedicated to. And you can't be dedicated to a name. You got to be dedicated to the idea. See, getting a guy in here as a name is not going to make us dedicated. We had guys here was dedicated. We had Ezekiel Elliott 2 or 3 years ago who wasn't dedicated. We had a Tony Pollard in a 1-2 punch that was outstanding. We weren't dedicated. See, it's not about being dedicated to the name. It's about being dedicated to what you do. See, Kansas City may not be known as a run team, but they're dedicated to getting carries. They're dedicated to running the ball, but they may not be dedicated to a particular back. And yes, I'm an old school guy. You need to have a workhorse back. Yes, I understand that. But it's more important that your team be dedicated to the idea than dedicated to the back. Because you'll find out really quickly if you're dedicated to the idea if the back is not working. But if you're not dedicated to the idea, it makes no difference what back you got. And that dedication has to flow through the coaches, into the players, and it has to be a core belief that we're going to be efficient running the ball and we're going to control the game with the running game and scoring the passing game. I don't think some of y'all understand when I say core. See, there's culture, and then there's core culture, a core belief. See, core belief, culture can be, kind of manipulated at the top end. But there's a core belief when you're talking about putting a core belief in a team. That is a non-negotiable. See, there may be different ways we can run the ball based off what a player we got or how we got or how offensive line. But the core belief has to be that we must run it. That's a core belief. How we get around that may change. But there's certain core beliefs that I want to see from this team. And this team, what I want to see more than anything else, I don't think it's about the talent. Me personally think we got more talent than the Philadelphia Eagles. The only talented place I see that the Eagles may have of us, and I'm going to be very honest, they may have a top running back. I don't think they go deep in the run. They may be better than running back, but I don't think they better than receiver. I don't think they better than quarterback. And they may have some skills on the wall, but we got an all-pro too. They got one all-pro. And I would put our offensive line towards them. This is our offensive line playing first. But if you look at the talent in the first round draft picks, they ain't too far off our offensive line. Because this offensive line, adding Tyler Booker, defensive line, I think our defensive line is more deeper. And then when you add Clark, that gives you some, you're talking about a guy that's been all pro. So that gives you some gain on Carter. Mossy is better than Jordan Davis. And I would take our collection of pass rushers with Fowler and Williams, linebacker. Are they really deep? They don't have the Georgia guy. If Diggs play, I'm happy with Bland and Diggs. Listen, I'm trying to ask y'all. Do you think they better talent than us? I'm just saying, we're going to say they won a Super Bowl, but if we really look at it, it's like, well, you know something? Coach is right. So what's the key? It's the key that I have been saying when I've been talking about toughness in this team. It's the cultural piece that I said that Schottenheimer has to build on this team when I said the 5 cultural building blocks. The core building blocks. That's physicality, discipline. And number 3, mental toughness, coaching and leadership, and talent. That's the core building blocks. And mental toughness. I've been saying this for the last couple of years. Our biggest problem is our mindset. And I told you early on, a couple of days ago, the new phrase for me, Cowboy teams, Cowboy players, Cowboy coaches, get your mind on your work. Get your mind on your work. That's all we take. We got the ingredients. If we come with the right mindset from players to coaches and come in with a gangster mentality, Philadelphia doesn't have a damn chance. Because talent-wise, let's put the rosters up side by side. You tell me, get your mind on your work. I had a show the other day said, are we scared? Are we ready? Are we scared? And I'm still thinking that. I understand when people talking about, well, let's go get it. Listen, man, it's going to have to come to a point that we got to dig our damn feet in the ground and we got to get some guys to play over their head. And we're not talking about a whole lot of people. It's time for this game to be made easier for your offensive line, makes it easier for everybody. It's time for your quarterback. It's time for Ferguson to be utilized the right way. I keep hearing that about certain players. Philly does not have more talent than us. Put them up on the screen. We are deeper, but their mindset and their team and their mindset was just better. They knew what they did best. They stayed to it. They didn't allow people to get them off of it, and they played to their player strength. I don't know if we can see the share screen. I'm hoping when I share these screens, it comes up on my. I hope it comes up on my recording. These are the things that I'm going to talk about that we need to do tomorrow to get a victory, and I think a big victory. But it's only one way to become a great team. It's only one way to become a great team. It's only one way to become a great team, and that only way to become a great team is to, and but one way to become a great team. And the only way to become a great team is work. If we feel like we put in the work, I heard the other day that Schottenheimer had a hard practice yesterday. Full practice on Tuesday before the game. A lot of people say that's unheard of because now you coming out of training camp, you're not having full practices now because you getting rest. No. This is for the long haul. This is not just for this game. That's keeping our mind on our work. With all the stuff that's been going on, he got their mind on their work. Only thing I'm asking Schottenheimer to do and this coaching staff to do is to trust his team and let them be men and not run away from the challenge. Go in there and trust his guys to win the physical battle. Win, lose, or draw, you're gonna bring something out of that. But you gotta work. And my acronym of work is will. The W stands for will. The O stands for over. The R stands for rest. And the K stands for kick ass. When your will is over your willingness to rest, you wanting to rest, kick ass. When we on that field, when we get tired, but our will to get to that play, to get to that block, to get to that tackle is over, our want to rest on the play, we can't do it but dominate. If we want to be a good team, we don't put the work in. Now we don't put the preparation in. Now it's the time to turn it into work. And I think we got more talent, but if we work on Thursday night, they can't stand up to us, baby. If we don't beat ourselves and we come to play, we will strike fear in the NFL. Now, is that going to mean that that's going to last forever? Probably not. Because it's a long season. Then the next adversity thing comes up. Can you handle success? Can you continue to keep working? But work. That's where we got to get to is work. Now I'm trying to get the screen to go down so I can get to the next slide. I don't know if I can do that. What's the next thing that we got to do? We got to go to work. Got to get our mind on our work. We got to go to work. Will over rest. Kicks ass. But then I say we got to come into the Philly and we got a gangster. A win on the road. Defense must be solid. No big plays given up. That's what I consider being solid. No big plays. Must tackle well. Must be very physical. We got to control the tempo, the time of possession. We control the tempo. We control the game. Physicality is a gangster must. If you're talking about gangster victory, you cannot not be physical. That's a gangster must. Turnovers. We can't turn the ball over, and we must get them. We have to protect the ball on offense, and we have to be physical enough to make them get to the point where they turn the ball over. Non-physical teams don't get turnovers. Non-physical teams usually turn the ball over. Be strong with the ball and attack the football on defense. Strong with the football on offense and attack the ball on defense. You got to be strong. Explosive plays. Win the momentum battle. That goes right back to what I said about defense can't give up big plays. And we got to create some big plays with Pickens, with Lamb, with Ferguson, whatever our third wide receiver. He may get a chance to make big plays. Turpin. We got weapons all over the field. We got more weapons than they got. We just got to have the mindset of sacrifice and everybody doing their job. And when the opportunity comes, what I said about names are made with opportunity. I know we out here searching for names. I think somebody said about go get a name and we know that's a name brand. Well, listen, man, name brands are good if you could get all name brand, but name brands had to come, some things became name brand because they had what? Opportunity. Win the explosive play battle. Be committed to the run game. If we run the ball better than them, that's going to limit their running. You said, well, Coach, how are we going to do that? We don't have a Barkley. We got a just as good as offensive line. Y'all want to talk about it? We do. And we got a physical young offensive line that's going to get after people. They don't have a fullback like we got. I keep naming players that we got that they don't have, but we say they're more talented. They ain't. If we can move up our mental toughness to them and our preparation to depend on the men winning the battle from our coaching staff, they can't handle it. This game is easy work. Mental toughness. Commitment to the run game. The teams must win if they ain't got a better kicker or punter. I'm keep trying to tell y'all. Tell me where they so more talented than us. Everybody want to talk about, well, Carter better than he better than Mozzie. Okay. We close the gap with Kenny Clark. After they get their first string line go by, who they got? Red zone is a must. You got to win the red zone battle. We got to win the red zone battle. That means limiting them to 3 points, and that means getting positive points in the red zone. Applying that pressure. And I know I left one off. And number 9, when you go on the road, you got to have a dog mindset. This is where the mental toughness come in. I told you the building blocks from this culture back in my video. Go watch my watch list, my video list. Go back when I said the building blocks of the culture, one of my first videos. I told you, and I spoke about that on most of my first videos. There's 5 cultural building blocks that should be core building blocks that Schottenheimer has to build in this team. Discipline, mental toughness, coaching / leadership, and talent. You have to allow your men to be men. And you have to say, this game, we ain't worried about the trickery. We're going out there and take their hearts, and we're going to win it physically. Like I told you, man, in 3 or 4 videos, I told you, there's an alpha and a beta decided in between the first quarter and going into the second quarter of every game. And in that particular time, people going this year, we're deciding who's the alpha that night and who's the beta. That don't mean you're the alpha and the beta for the next game. But for that night, we finna find out who's the alpha and beta. And when you go on the road and you finna gangster a victory in hostile territory, you got to have that dog mentality. Remember, Cowboy fans, remember Cowboys and Schottenheimer coaching staff and players, they pick you, the NFL pick, but the NFL pick you to stand there to watch your little brothers get their trophy ceremony. Yeah, your little brothers. You got 5 championships, ain't been around as long as they have. Your little brother. It's time for the dog to start coming back out of the Cowboys because, you know, we always been flash and dash. We always been popular. We always been the apple of the NFL. But when we was winning, we were dogs as well. Teams feared us coming in the door. This is what I mean by have a dog mindset. This is these 9 things you do to win on the road. But all of them just have a sense of the urgency, and all of them need for what? You need to work, and first, you need to get your mind on your work. And then go to work and accomplish these things. But there's a cost to winning. There's a cost. And if you want to win, you got to pay the fee. This all builds back when I talk about the mindset. I've been saying it for year after year with McCarthy teams. We have been weak mentally in big games. Teams have made us run off our game plan. They have established that they have been the alpha in every big game. And then we go against lower teams, we become alpha. I don't even care about, listen here, I think we can win this game big. But if we go in there and stand up blow for blow and say, hey, our players are better, and we carry that mentality that we're better, it's a building block for the rest of the year. But to win, we got to pay the fee. There's a fee to wins, and that fee is focus. Your mind on your work, relentless effort and execution, discipline, and everybody working as to do their job. Not nobody else. Not everybody else looking for who's going to get the sacks and how many sacks. We ain't looking for who's going to get contracts. Everybody signed now. Ain't nobody playing for money. The money's already put on the contracts. It's time to pay the fee now. Focus, effort, and execution. Paying that fee. You pay that fee. I always say I don't guarantee no wins. I ain't say never. I say nothing I say can guarantee them. I always say because you never guarantee in football because it's the greatest team sport, anything. I have seen some crazy stuff to happen. I'm not going to guarantee you win if you pay that fee, but I can tell you this. I could guarantee you it's going to be hard for you to lose. I ain't say you ain't going to lose, but I can bet you it'll be hard for you to lose. I gave you 3 slides. One, I said, if you're going to be a great team, you got to work. Will over rest kicks ass. Then I gave you 9 things to how you got to go gangster of victory on the road. A couple of weeks ago, I gave you the 4 battles that you're going to have to win. The turnover battle. The effort, that's in the part of that fee. The explosive plays, that's in part of getting the explosive plays in your part of your 9. And the penalty battle, that's part of your discipline. Because if you come out there willing to work, there ain't no penalties. If you come out there focused with your mind on your work, you don't get no pre-snap penalties. If you come out there saying, I'm coming out there for my brother, I'm coming out there believing that we got more talent. And I'm walking into the stadium saying, did y'all invite us to this party? Are you crazy? We are the big dogs of the NFC East. And if you're a Cowboy fan, if you don't realize that, win, lose, or draw, we're the big dog. Washington, little brother. Giants, little brother. Eagles, little brother. We the youngest, but we the most dominant. We done played in more Super Bowls than all of them. We done won more Super Bowls than all. And that's listen, we lead the best division in historically Super Bowl victories in the NFL. No other division done won more Super Bowls than the NFC East. And we lead that. And you got to go into this game. We don't have no Swiss cheese as a team. Put the rosters up. We win the kicking game. They ain't all that great over as a quarterback thing. We win the quarterback game. The receivers, I think it's equal or we better. You want to talk about their tight end? I don't think Ferguson is that far off guarded. Well, you tell me this. Do they have a third wide receiver that had 68 catches and 7 touchdowns last year? Hell no. We do. Even y'all want to talk about Tober. But we got a third wide receiver that led the team to touchdown. Do they got that? Do they beat us in the return game? We got an all-pro return guy. Punter was all-pro. Our field goal kicker, you know he at. Go to defense. You think if Diggs play, you think they better than Diggs and Bland? You think they got more depth on their defensive line? You bring in Kenny Clark, listen, he an all-pro. You saying Jordan Davis better than Olsen? Come on, man. So where are they way more talented than us at? Mindset. So we bring the mindset and we pay the fee, we can break them in Philly. But our coaching staff got to allow our guys to be dog. I know y'all talking about this guy and that guy. I understand. But it's time for some of these guys that y'all talking about ain't no good that got an opportunity. As I told you about talent, man. You can have a talented player. I told you coaches can't make talent. Their mom and dad does that. But coaches only have 4 things they can do with talent, and they can take a talented player, whatever his talent is, and they can make him seem like he's bigger than life if they do these 4 things. And those 4 things, they got to motivate the talent. You got to motivate our rookie running back to say, these are the things I need you to do. I don't need you to do all the things. There's certain things I need you to do because I know you're good at that. Some the Javonte, the other running back, there are certain things I need you to do because I know you're good at. And we're going to find that and we're going to put you in those things that you do well. And we want you to excel at that. Now, do we know what that is? But we're starting to find out. We don't need you to be all world. We need you to fit the role. We need you to fit the role, Turpin, of what we think you could do well. We need you to fit the role, Pickens, about what we have to structure for you to dominate in that way. Not a whole lot. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Same thing with that. We want you to utilize everybody. Duke Manoweather said something about it when he was talking about the offensive line. And he was talking about, he said Terrence Steele is going to even have a better year this year because he feels that this offensive line is going to utilize Terrence and what he does well. What I said about talent. You motivate them by giving them what they do well. You motivate that talent. Then the second thing you do, you refine their skills. Whatever they do well, you coach them up. I think we looking for a guy that don't have to be coached, but all of them have to. Certain people got to be coached up. This is what their job, this is what this new coaching staff is. Find their role, coach them up. Refine their talent. Then the third thing is, when I say we want to try to hold these guys accountable to what they're supposed to be, hold their butt to accountable to who they're supposed to be. Hold them accountable. And then the last thing of the 4, put these guys in the right place for them to flourish. It's time to go to work, baby. It's time for players and coaches to get their mind on their work. It's time for you, Cowboy Nation, to get off of this pity wagon. Time for you to get off this saying we need to get this, we need to get that. It's time for us to unite and galvanize around this club. This 70 guys that they got on this club. And demand and put the pressure on them to play to their abilities, to coach to their abilities. Because see, losing franchise and losing fan bases always cry about what they ain't got. But really, they don't have the mentality because teams win with less than what they got. I always notice this about somebody, man. I can see a guy that got a job and spend his money wisely. And I can see another house that make just about as much as money he make or probably make more. And they always crying about what they ain't got. And this guy got that and more. And what we say to them, we say, man, you must be making all the big bucks. And when they pull the W-2 forms out, he making just as much as they making or less because he get the best out of his. The guys that don't get nothing, they don't get the best out of theirs. They too much complaining about what they can try to get something else. Don't that don't sound like us? We always complain about it. It's come to a point when I can point out where we are more talented than the Eagles, special teams, this and that, whatever, then we think that we need some more. I've been saying for the longest there ain't been talent. But I will say this. The run game is very important. But it's about the core value of the run game. See, we want a guy so we can be committed to a guy. And we had a young Ezekiel Elliott. And a very good Tony Pollard. And I think a very good Rico Dowdle. And we didn't. And I can tell you that. It's about committing to the run game. And we'll find out if we committed to the run game. If it doesn't work, and then we can go say, but then I know our core value is there. See, I remember the Denver Broncos. They had Terrell Davis, but every year, with Terrell Davis, every year they got a running back that ran for 1,000 yards or 1,500 yards because that was their core value. I watched the Philadelphia Eagles. Swift 3 years ago was top 1 or 2 in the rushing at about 14 or 1,500 yards. Not Swift, but the running back that we have on team right now, Miles Sanders. People forget about that. When they went to the Super Bowl, he was a 14, 1,500 yard rusher. Yeah. Then Swift came in the next year and ran for 1,400, 1,500 yards. Then Barkley come and run for 2,000. It's not about the running back. The other running back can take it over the top, but they were committed, a core value of running the ball. Yeah, a better running back took it farther up top, but they were committed to running it. That was a core value of them. Just like I said, our core value, that's why I like for the guy Clark coming. See, Clark coming with a different philosophy for somebody else, not our guys. He's coming with a philosophy. And I talked to Fowler. Yeah, Dad, me and talk. Yeah. Dante Fowler Jr. is going to be a leader to this team. And I sent him a message. And my message was, 2 or 3 days ago was, lead this team, lead this defensive line and this defense in the dog mentality that I know you got, that you have tried to do when you were there last time. And now, it ain't about who got this. 2 of the alphas that was butting heads with each other, they're gone. Now, it's about team now. And I feel good about that. Boy, I hadn't felt this good about a season in a long time, buddy. See, sometimes you can have 2 alpha heads that butt their heads and they take the focus off of everybody else because they trying to run the show. They mean good, but it don't turn out good. Now, it takes everybody. And anybody on that line that steps out of line that gets selfish, Sam Williams, we going to replace your ass because I need guys that's going to sacrifice for each other for the greater good of the team. If you're looking for a contract, that ain't gonna cut it. If you're looking to win, that's who I want on the field. And they got enough guys out there saying, if you don't stay in line, they'll take your spot. Again, people, work, will over rest kicks ass. And for us to win and to be champions and to dominate like we have to dominate, we got to have a tougher mental mindset. And that's what I want to see. And I want to see if we're willing as fans, as coaches, and as players to keep our mind on our pay the fee to win it. Focus, effort, and execution. We're going to see you tomorrow on Boss Cowboy Sports. This may be coming out, but we're going to have a live showing. Hopefully I have my link that's going to be hooked up to that so you can follow. If you following Coach Marv, jump on Coach Marv Real Talk and follow. That's going to be the same thing with everybody else. Jump on there, man, and let's watch this game. We're going to all be on there. Henny, Balls, Lou, my man Amp. Oh, man, we're going to be all on the show. It is real and live in color tomorrow night. Come on, Cowboys. Get your mind on your damn work. And let's pay the fee. Let's go in our pockets and our hearts to pay the fee for each other. You make sure the Eagles understand and the NFL understand. When they have a celebration for another team, you don't invite the Cowboys to the celebration. We're going to take the damn celebration over until tomorrow night or tonight when I release this video. Salute, Cowboy fans. Let's go get this win. Peace.